Coming up in this episode, John Bateman returns to Oz, England to continue with Shaun, Wane, and Rovers chairman unhappy with attendances despite good form. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel Held Dominance. Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe, and also click that notification bell if you enjoy what you're seeing and if you want to continue seeing more. Also, please remember that I'm running what's called a Buy Me a Coffee campaign, where you guys are, if you're gracious enough, can donate to the channel by clicking the QR code and buy me a coffee. It's for the future projects for Rugby League, and that's all it will be for. Anyway, let's begin with the show, but thank you for considering to donate. Anyway, we are going to start in the championship today, as Featherstone Rovers chairman Mark Campbell has been querying and a little bit upset about the start of the season, not with the performances on the pitch, but the reflection of the off the pitch purchasing at the club, shall we say that. The Featherstone chairman Campbell has warned that attendances must improve if he is to continue to be putting money into the club. Rovers are bidding to win the promotion from the Championship to the Super League, but Campbell revealed that matchday revenue doesn't get anywhere near meeting the wage bill. Alongside were backed by a big 3,794 crowd for the first home game against Halifax Panthers earlier this month, but attendances have since dipped, with 2,489 turning up to watch their victory over Newcastle's Thunder on Sunday. Campbell also complained about Rovers supporters drinking in nearby pubs before the game instead of inside the Millennium Stadium. This is a man who's been at the forefront of Featherstone Rovers for the last 15 plus years. Writing in recent social media posts, Mr. Campbell stated, "We have invested in a quality squad, and our matchday income doesn't get anywhere near meeting our wage bill. Me and Martin Vickers have to work really hard to meet our commitments to keep going, and seeing such poor attendances, coupled with everyone going to the railway or Rovers return for a cheap pint, makes it even harder task to justify investment in time or money. This can be a monumental year for the club, but if the crowds don't improve, I aren't working my tail off to subsidise us having this team." Featherstone have been looking to get into Super League to bolster their financial coffers and cover the costs of rugby league in a rugby league fanatical town. Up until now, 2 years ago, the Rugby Football League have been subsidising through broadcast arrangement payments financial backing for clubs in the Championship and League One. That payment went down in the last 2 years, in 2021, as a solidarity payment of £4 million between the now 24 rugby league clubs. It worked out to around about 60 grand per team, which was a massive drop down compared to what rugby league clubs have in the lower standards have been afforded. But now the clubs are feeling the pinch, and the chairman are worried about the financial implications that payments of such a high quality squad can do for teams trying to achieve that dream of getting into Super League. From my understanding, for the last few years, the Betfred Championship have a salary cap of a maximum of 1.85 million for rugby league players, as long as that is demonstrated to be about 50% of total revenue for the season. Whereas Super League, the salary cap is 2.1 million, which is around about 75% of matchday revenue. Instead, Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel Held Dominance. Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe, and also click that notification bell if you enjoy what you're seeing and if you want to continue seeing more. Also, please remember that I'm running what's called a Buy Me a Coffee campaign, where you guys are, if you're gracious enough, can donate to the channel by clicking the QR code and buy me a coffee. It's for the future projects for Rugby League, and that's all it will be for. Anyway, let's begin with the show, but thank you for considering to donate. Anyway, we are going to start in the championship today, as Featherstone Rovers chairman Mark Campbell has been querying and a little bit upset about the start of the season, not with the performances on the pitch, but the reflection of the off the pitch purchasing at the club, shall we say that. Next we come to England Rugby League, as it looks like their coaching decision has been made, and it is confirmed by the RFL. Shaun Wane will be continuing as the England coach into the 2023 World Cup. He was handed a new contract by the RFL, and from reports from numerous sites, Wane has had his contract extended following the findings of an internal review into England's performance during the Rugby League World Cup. Wane, a three-time Super League champion coach, guided his side to a World Cup semi-final last year before they were knocked out by Samoa in golden point extra time during the semi-final at the Emirates Stadium. The failure to reach the final prompted a review headed by RFL chairman Simon Johnson after Wane had set out the goal of winning the competition. That review was recently concluded, and the decision has now been made to extend Wane's contract on a deal that will see him remain in charge through to the conclusion of the 2025 World Cup, which is due to take place in France. It is the understanding of Rugby League reporters that the governing body is set to confirm the decision sometime today. This huge announcement came after strong public support from the England squad following the news that Wane's future was subject to uncertainty, with a number of players as well as former England internationals giving their public backing for Shaun Wane to continue as the England boss. He is now set to lead preparations ahead of 2025. That will begin with the mid-season international against France in April this year. Future fixtures, however, remain unclear, and the RFL is trying to organise an autumn test series both this year and next, hoping the attracting Australia and New Zealand, but have been so far unsuccessful. There are two alternatives on the matter as well put on the table, with Tonga being one of the options, and their vanquishers in the Rugby League World Cup, Samoa, acting as opposition at the end of the year, though the NRL has shown resistance, which is a factor of New Zealand not committing to a test series as of yet. Wane will likely have to oversee a big turnover in playing personnel ahead of the next tournament, with 9 of his current World Cup squad players being over the age of 31, such as future internationals such as internationals like Sam Tompkins, Michael McAlorum, Mike Cooper, Chris Hill, Elliot Whitehead and Ryan Hall, having their international futures all in doubt. It is all but certain that they will be out of the picture by the time the World Cup comes around, but form is temporary and class is permanent. Hopefully there is a bit of a balance, as you can't have too many player turnover if you want to grow a squad in your image. Wane has a lot of talent to call upon, including quite a few of the Saints team that won the World Club Challenge in Australia recently. The likes of Lewis Dodd is coming to the fore, Jack Wellesby's been in the squad. Plus, Johnny Lomax still seems to have time on his side when it comes to rugby league. And with young English talent already in the NRL or going to the NRL for 2024, like Dom Young, Herbie Farnworth, Will Price, Kai Pearce-Paul, there is some good balance and growth to go with Shaun Wane's future picks for the England internationals. Don't get me wrong, there is homegrown talent too, with the likes of Mikey Lewis, Morgan Gannon, Morgan Smithies, just to name 3 in the squad, and have shown plenty of promise at the start of their careers too. Hopefully it'll be enough quality in the squad and something to grow up on for the future generations, and England can become a success for the first time since 1972. And finally we come to the news that John Bateman has finally touched down in Australia last week. It took a long time for Bateman to arrive in Australia last week after a transfer story that had consumed the entire off-season. England international was confirmed as a West Tigers player back in December, but following complications he wasn't able to join up with a new club until recently. It had been reported that Bateman had been stranded back in the UK due to visa issues from allowing him into and out of the UK. This was reported by the Sydney Morning Herald. Now it seems the former Canberra Raiders forward will not be available for the opening games of the season, despite previous reports that he would be thrown straight in. Bateman, who is joining the club on a 4-year deal, has been doing online work to try and familiarise himself with his team and the style of play. He'd been reported himself as eager to get started. Speaking for the first time to the club's website as he arrived in West Tigers colours, Bateman said he's been training by himself, but there's little to nothing that he can do with the team stuff, that set plays and things like that, and preparing for this time at West Tigers. I'm up for it and looking forward to getting going. Coach Tim Sheens has been sending over some clips and I've been looking through them and some of the plays. I've just been keeping an eye on that and trying to keep on top of it and what we do in training. The last couple of weeks we've had games, so I've been able to keep an eye on that. Despite his keenness, the most recent reports from the Sydney Morning Herald is that they don't expect the Englishman to take part in the round 1 game. West face the Gold Coast Titans, and it's expected that the former England man will be sidelined due to the disruptive pre-season that he's had and not being able to be involved in the trial games that have been played, which he has to sit out and watch either in the UK or in Australia. However, reports are indicating that the England international second rower will be involved at some part with the second round game, as early as that, when the West Tigers host Newcastle Knights in round 2. With that said, all being done, Bateman is now going to have a second stint in Australia, as in 2019 and 2020 he appeared for Canberra Raiders 34 times, scoring 8 tries, and got to a grand final with them. If his 4-year stint with West Tigers goes anywhere near that, one, it will be a dramatic turnaround for a West Tigers side who haven't reached the final since, I think, 2009. I may be a bit off on that, but it would be a notch in John Bateman's head post to say that he's probably one of the best English exports to ever play rugby league on either side of the globe. Tell me what your thoughts are. Is he good enough to help West Tigers improve, or do you think they still need a lot of work to do? And that's it for another episode, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe and share this video worldwide, as well as clicking on that notification bell for any updates or new videos that may be coming your way in the near future. Tell me what your thoughts are on today's episode in the comment section below, as it's open for business. And as always, please be respectful with everyone's opinion, as it's just that at the end of the day. I like the conversations going forward, and keep on coming, because they're a great way to interact with the rugby league community, whether you have an opinion yourself or an opinion on someone else's idea. Everyone's got their own opinions. Anyway, I won't comment any further on that statement, but at the end of the day, thank you for getting involved. I'll end the episode as I always do by wishing you all the best. Please share this video worldwide. So please stay safe, and I'll see you in the next episode.